Welcome to Epically Universal. I'm your host, Keegan. You can follow me on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. And the link is going to be down low in the show notes. So follow me. Let's have some conversations about Epic. But today, we're talking about my favorite land, or at least, well, I can't say it's my favorite until I get into it, but it's my most anticipated land. And that is the Dark Universe. I'm not alone in this, I know. There's so many people who are amped about the Dark Universe because I think in a way we all like that the macabre, right? We all like the dark. We all like a little bit of horror, a little bit of scary. I don't care who you are. Most people enjoy it. You know, when you know there's no fear, we all kind of like being scared a little bit. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people. Specifically Universal fans, we like it because, hell, we've been going to HHN for a long time. So this is like HHN year-round. HHN light, maybe. But today I wanted to take you through the release and what we have today on Dark Universe. And so we're going to go to Universal's website. This was one of those at first, just like How to Train Your Dragon, then I was like, oh man, they're wasting a whole land on this, because I was admittedly not the biggest traditional old school Universal Monsters fan. I love Frankenstein. I love Dracula. Like, I do. But as far as the old movies, I didn't appreciate them. Maybe to the level that a lot of people do. And not because I don't think they're good. I think I just never really got into it. I didn't watch them growing up. And so it was just, they were just kind of there. And so the older I've gotten, the more I've gotten into Universal, the more I know about some of the stories, the more I really, truly have grown to love and appreciate some of those classic monsters. They create this level of nostalgia because whether you like them or not, you knew them. You knew the Bride of Frankenstein. We knew Dracula. We knew Frankenstein's monster. We know all about so many of these monsters, and now we have a whole world to step into and experience. So Dark Universe, you know, the whole tagline here, from the experiments of Victoria Frankenstein to a twisted landscape where monsters roam, Dark Universe is a grim world of myth and mystery. It's opening in 2025 at Universal Epic Universe, and all of the images shown here are still conceptual renderings. I want to touch on that, and there's a reason I read this, and there's a reason that I mentioned that specifically, and this is going to sound, and this may be a little bit controversial, it might sound a little bit shitty, like I'm throwing shade at Disney. And maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe unintentionally. But this isn't throwing shade at Disney. This is more, at least my intent's not to throw shade at Disney. My intent is to point out the differences in the blue sky concepts that Disney refers to and what happens, like what actually comes out of it, versus some of the stuff that Universal's doing. So right now, the thing that's high on everybody's list is the Communicore Hall at Epcot. Epcot is finally done. The walls are all down. The transformation is complete. And I told, I kind of said that I would not go back to Epcot until all the walls were down. But Epcot has truly given me nothing, for me personally, to go back for, with the exception of World Showcase, which has always been amazing, and Guardians, which I've already ridden. Outside of that, there's not much new that's come. The water, the Moana thing, and the Communicore Hall are not going to drive me there. The Encanto show, that's not going to drive me there. But when you look at everything that's being talked about when it comes to that, the conceptual art, the renderings, and the blue sky drawings for Communicore Hall specifically, what was built doesn't really look like what was created. And even the rendering's not that over the top, to be honest, but there's still a disconnect. So a mediocre, in my opinion, creative rendering has an even less impressive reality. And this is not me trying to like poo-poo on Disney, but this is me hoping that Disney continues to improve and get better and get back to doing what Disney does, because when they're at their best, all that does is make the industry better. I believe that the Universal we have today and the creative that we get from them is 100% because of the things that Disney was doing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. hopefully, and maybe even the 2000s for that matter. Hopefully, we can get back to that. I want to see both do well because I enjoy both parks. But what this is I really believe, and you can see by some of the renderings and some of the actual construction photos of the Dark Universe that the artist renderings and the conceptual stuff that they put together, what's happening in reality is pretty freaking close, and that is exciting, right? For someone who's excited for this park and has been watching it for really since they broke ground and really picked up, in 2021 when they returned to full scale aggressive development. Watching this has been a treat for a theme park lover. And so let's go through, and I want to take you through the Dark Universe. Like, I think some of these, like, if they can pull off some of these effects, like the lightning up there, they're going to be able to pull it off. This is just wild, y'all. Like, insane. Are we going to get to walk into this house? Is this going to be the queue? Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experience. This is the indoor dark ride. Like, Victoria Frankenstein's latest experiment goes awry when Dracula leads an angry monster revolt to escape her catacombs. Like, what? This is going to be epic. We're going to go in here. We're going to be able to ride inside of this house. We're going to be able to do a Frankenstein ride with Dracula involved. Like, come on, man. This is going to be on a whole different level. And they're obviously showing the house, the effects in here. They wouldn't be showing this if it wasn't going to look like this. I know this is going to look like that, and that's going to be crazy. So that's going to be the indoor dark ride, but then we've got a whole spinning roller coaster. This is Ride to Happiness, maybe not quite on the same level, but we got a launched spinner, time traveler, Ride to Happiness. Anybody who's a theme park enthusiast and a coaster nerd knows those are some rides that people freaking absolutely love. And this is the Curse of the Werewolf, right? Spin and weave through the woods as you attempt to speed past the glowing eyes and gnashing teeth of a pack of werewolves. I'm amped. I'm done. I'm going to be there. Let's go. It just looks awesome. The theming's going to be cool. You're going to go through all this stuff, through all of these themed lands and trees and all that. And it's going to be on a whole different level. And then we come to the halls, right? To the taverns, to the food halls. You got this right here. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you see it, the Burning Blade Tavern. For those of you who are listening to the audio, you basically have this old school looking windmill that's on fire. What? This is going to be wild. Like, I can't wait to see this, and I hope it looks just like this. We'll find out when we get there. We'll have to wait and see. But the tavern's going to be just a place to eat, right? A hangout for the village monster hunters where you'll find a menu of burgers, wings, brats, and pretzels. So it's sort of a little bit German, a little bit of bar food, or a little bit of regular park fare. What else can you want? There's going to be a place to eat. The entrance looks incredibly cool. It looks rustic. Looks like an old school tavern, a place where some debauchery would happen. But that's exciting, and you continue to run through the land, the trees, the lighting, the dinginess, the wood, the bridges, the moats, the smoke, all of that. It just looks authentic. It looks really cool. Das Steakhouse. I don't know if I said that right. Don't crucify me. But a mysterious restaurant where you can enjoy a hearty meal while surrounded by vampire artwork and artifacts. We're going to click into this one because I want to see some of the pictures on the inside. This looks wild. The first thing I'm picturing here is honestly part of Harry Potter. It's like Leaky Cauldron, and I'm excited for this. I don't know if it's coming through here, but I'm super pumped. I think this is all going to be just unreal. I mean, seriously unreal. You got the Monsters Unchained Frankenstein experiment. We'll go in here. Let's see what this is all about. So you got a thrill ride with motion simulation. It's the indoor dark ride, right? So from some of the rumors, sort of maybe similar in a lot of ways to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. We'll have to wait and see, but this ride looks pretty wild. I can't wait to see it testing. I can't wait to see what's actually going to happen with this ride because some of the rumors are pretty wild. See, this is the coaster outside. Let's go take a look at this one, Curse of the Werewolf. So definitely a thrill ride. You're going to spin, you know, all-knowing seer and leader of the Guild of Mystics welcomes visitors to a secluded camp of wagons in the woods. Beware of the moon. This ride, spinning roller coaster with launches. You're going to have some animatronics. It's going to be a blast. You got the makeup experience. So the monsters at Darkmoor, that'll be another unique attraction, something cool to check out. You meet monsters. So you're going to have Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. Again, more meet and greets. You're going to have the steakhouse, get a meal. That's going to be really, really cool as well. You know, the eatery, the Burning Blade. That place just looks wild to walk into. And that's going to make up Dark Universe, which, again, people who are keeping up with Epic and, you know, the ones that I interact with a lot this is their top number one most anticipated land, and I get why. It's going to have a soul. It's going to have so much character to it, and they all will. It's just a matter of what sort of topic you like the most and what you're most interested in. Celestial Park has my most anticipated ride, and Stardust Racers. Dark Universe is going to be incredibly well themed, and then we still haven't got the details. We know it's the Ministry of Magic. We know it's the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic, and I know it's going to be incredible. Everything that Universal's done when it comes to Harry Potter and the Wizarding World has been top-notch on a whole different level. Diagon Alley is without a doubt, at least as of today, my favorite land in any theme park anywhere. And that's coming from a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan, a kid who's grew up watching it in the 80s and seen every movie that's ever been put out in the theater. Rewatched them many times, watched the cartoons, read some of the books. Love Star Wars, but Galaxy's Edge is fine. It's just, it doesn't have the same vibe as Diagon Alley. Like, Diagon Alley is just amazing. And Hogsmeade's incredible too. It's really well done. But I'm excited for the Ministry of Magic. I think it's going to be a whole different level. I've said that many times about these worlds. I just do believe that Epic Universe is going to take things to a different level. And I think people's minds are going to be blown when they step into these worlds. So I want to know, what are you most excited for when it comes to Dark Universe? If you're listening to the podcast, come over to X, follow us at Epically Universe. We'll have a link in the show notes. Interact with me. Tell me what you're most excited for. Tell me what you're not excited for in Dark Universe. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into some real conversations down in the comments. I would love to hear what you're most excited for and what you're least excited for when it comes to the Dark Universe. And we've kind of made our way through most of everything coming to Epic Universe. Now, we'll dig a little deeper into some of the hotels. We'll explore the Grand Helios as details come out about that. We'll talk about Stella Nova and Terra Luna. But we still got one more world to talk about, and that being Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic. So when details come, we will cover it here for sure. So, as always, please subscribe to the podcast if you love what we're putting out here, and we'll see you in the next episode.